In his current body of work, The Lighthouse, Safe Passage in a Turbulent Sea, Pennsylvania-based ceramic sculptor William Tersteeg explores the lighthouse as a symbol of stability and a beacon of safe passage in our world's turbulent times. The exhibition was inspired by Texas lighthouses and how they have withstood the storm of Hurricane Ida, Harvey, and many others. Tersteeg states, lighthouses are constructed to withstand powerful, violent storms and turbulent ocean waters, so it is no wonder that they are frequently depicted as symbols of strength. They are also reflections of my visual, intellectual, and emotional world. The new exhibition will be viewable and available for collection February 4th through 27th, 2022 at Rockport Center for the Arts.
It's wonderful to see your exhibition in person down here in Rockport. Can you tell us a little bit how you got started doing ceramics?
Well, I went to college to study engineering, and as part of that program you had to take an art course, and I went to take this art appreciation course, and the room that the art appreciation course was being taught in was next to the ceramic lab. So I got there early one day and I was watching somebody working in the ceramics lab, and Arthur was working on the potter's wheel, and I had never seen that before. It was, to me, it was an amazing event that was taking place there. He was taking a hard ball of clay and throwing it down on the wheel and making a vessel out of it. And I went in and I talked to him for a little while. I think I was even late for my art appreciation class because I got involved with talking with Arthur. And I said, what do I have to do to take this class? And he said, well, you have to take a basic art program, and because this is secondary to the art program. So I wound up being not an engineer and being an art major in college. My working process is basically, a friend of mine said, you're a sculptor that paints on clay.
I can see that.
And I think that's pretty much true of the work that is in this exhibition. A lot of the images on the surface are subject matter that painters would have chosen to do an oil painting or an acrylic painting of. But I paint with glaze, so it's a little bit different, because when you paint with glaze, the color that goes on isn't the color that it's going to wind up being all the time. Sometimes it is, many times it isn't. So if you want, let's say, a glassy green, that's made from iron, and iron is rust, so that color is brown when it goes on.
Got it.
So those kind of things are pretty typical. Another thing that this particular method of firing allows me to do, it allows me to do lusters on the surface of the piece. So a lot of these pieces have copper lusters, or they have gold or silver lusters on the surface. And the chemistry for those is basically copper or bismuth subnitrate, or so I have to know a bit about chemistry in terms of doing what I do. I have about maybe 75 or 80 different jars of glaze in my studio at home, bookshelves full of glazes, and each one of those glaze bottles has a chip. They have two chips, actually. They have a chip that shows me what the color looks like if I raku fire it, and a chip that shows me what it'll look like if I just low fire it. And the reason for that is that many times I have to, the image on the surface becomes so complicated that I have to fire the piece more than once. So quite a few of the pieces in here have been fired 3 or 4 times. And it has a seaside landscape on this side, daytime. This one happens to have both day sides. Both sides are daytime. That's a seaside, and this one's is a Gulf Coast resort on this side. So that's a sort of, it's a painting on the surface of a piece of clay. Clouds are, I like the clouds. The clouds came out nice on this one. And on the side panels, you see what this is called fire scale. In the fire scale, that's what the piece looks like when it comes out of the kiln if I don't clean it up. I can knock all that fire scale off, or all this black off, and then this would be that aqua color and this would be white. And this piece is, actually these pieces are thrown horizontally. So what I do is I throw the piece hollow. This is the bottom of the piece in here when it's laying on the potter's wheel. And then I insert another flat surface on the interior and build this. This is all handwork. So that's hand-built clay.
Wow.
Tops come off of all of these. This has multiple top on it. I'm not going to take that off, but they come off. And on the back side of this one, you have some sailing vessels. And
yes.
again, some nice clouds.
Yes.
The wavy clouds are something that's relatively new for me. Then this particular piece is one of the storms that hit between Texas and Louisiana on the Sabine River banks in that area. That's where it came ashore. So this piece is basically, the outside is the Sabine Bank lighthouse through a rainstorm.
Oh, wow.
So I tried to create the sense of a rainstorm. And the top is above the clouds, and it's a starlit night with a little stars and a moon up here in the clouds.
Oh, yes.
I'm pretty fond of this piece. So in this piece, the daytime is on the outside, and the nighttime is on the inside. So there's a moon image. On the inside, there's a moon image.
Okay.
Up above here.
Right there, I see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
So that's that. And I make the pieces in multiple. So the base is one throwing exercise. The lighthouse was another throwing exercise. The donut shape is another throwing exercise. And the lighthouse, and this piece wound up not being attached permanently. So.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it just sits down in there.
Hovers.
I would say if somebody bought this, I would probably say, you really need to glue that into place.
Right, yeah, that's true.
So, yes. So the light is represented by these panels that go down the surface of a piece of vessel. And I glazed it so that this glaze is darker and this glaze is lighter. So the light from the lighthouse is illuminating this section, but not the section out here. So the red roof here winds up being gray where it's not in the sunlight.
Got it.
And I do a lot of cutouts. So the cutouts actually open up the vessel. It kind of tells you a little bit about my skill as a throwing potter. It's nice. It's very thin, and this piece doesn't weigh a whole lot. Again, it's a vessel, and
Beautiful.
You can see from the inside. You can see that the light gets in through the illumination that I've cut. The outside, the seascapes are basically borrowed in nature from paintings that Winslow Homer did.
Oh, wow, okay.
He was a pretty famous seascape artist.
Beautiful.
So those are related to that.
Okay.
And I like offering you something additional. Most of the pieces have something on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
This little piece, I like this little piece because I've etched. One thing that happens in Texas is when the turtles hatch,
Oh, sure.
they have to rush to the sea because the birds are there to try and pick them off.
Yes.
So it's an amazing thing that I've seen. In the bottom of this, so they're etched in. So what I did is I cut out little silhouettes and paste them on here, and then I hit that with a sandblaster, and that leaves the turtle in the dark glaze, and the lighter glaze is what happens when the sand hits it. And the bottom of this one's, I like the bottom of this one a lot. The bottom of this one's
beautiful.
is a moonscape at night with the Milky Way running across. So it's really like, the way I thought about this was laying on my back, looking at the stars with the clouds on both sides and the openness in the middle.
Definitely.
So that's the way I was thinking about that when I did it. And it has fireflies on the outside too. So little fireflies there.
Really nice.
So that's
All right, perfect.
a little bit about what I do.